Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, Aries, let's go ahead and take a look at a 2026 message, but this is more specific for the bridge between this year and next. So we have, a little bit of time as we end 2025, go into 2026. We also have some time as we end the year of the snake and go into the year of the horse in the Chinese New Year that begins in February. So with that in mind, I kind of want to look at that space that still exists, our space to wrap some things up. We have a Six of Wands. We have a Seven of Wands. All right. So this could be a time where our Aries we're obviously still in kind of like minor arcana, but we're feeling like, okay, let me count up the stuff I've been accomplishing that I feel good about. And then let me also look at what things are still like seemingly blocked that I need to sort through. This feels like Aries has a lot of skills right now that they could fall back on. They have a lot of things that they do really well that they could use to problem solve. Three of Pentacles. They also have other resources outside of themselves. If this is Aries saying, okay, listen, here are the things I'm great at. Here are the things that I've done really well. And as I move forward, I want to have, like, this could be, I want to be in a better quality relationship with the people that I love. Where are the obstacles and what skills do I have that can really like facilitate some better, energy between us and better communication? Let me think about this. Where's the big blockage? This could be somebody preparing to have Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow with family and be like, okay, what topic should we not talk about? I know where the problems are, so let's avoid certain topics. Or, like, let me go ahead and not react to certain things. Or, when I know what I think, so I don't have to worry about, feeling challenged or getting into a battle with anybody else. That's kind of the way I would look at this. Crochet every day. Great to see you, babe. Okay, let's take another look. We have Ace of Swords and we have the Emperor. I would say Aries, being that the Emperor is Aries, I would say this is Aries saying, you know what, I realize I can control my environment. I can take the diplomatic route. Sometimes, we got to know when not to react or respond in order to keep the peace. Sometimes there's no point in pointing out why somebody's doing something or where they're wrong. Sometimes it's better to just let them spout off about whatever they want, love them in spite of whatever differences they may have, and be able to say, I'm going to be the bigger person on this one. I can actually control my reactions. And I don't have to let certain things bug me. And I kind of feel like that's where Aries is at. Aries has a lot of like success. And I actually think that they're realizing they are particularly good at having success dealing with other people. Not because they, surrender their own opinions or ideas or acquiesce too much, but rather they just have learned how to have a few boundaries around their own energy. They want to kind of maybe protect themselves a little bit from, draining conversations. They want to have better connections with people. Then, let some stuff roll off their back. There will be people that Aries probably needs to cut ties with, though, because not everybody is going to be someone that Aries wants to just like accept as they are and, deal with some conflict. Some people are going to be individuals that Aries will say, this is the end of the year, but this is where I pick and choose. Who do I really even converse with? I could see Aries like letting go of certain people in their life and then getting much closer to others. And this could be as a whole. And this isn't just like a Thanksgiving dinner thing. This is like as a whole. I think who Aries gives their attention to, who they let get up in their head, that's going to be a more refined group. Because this is that sort of truth. Aries is like, look, my underlying factor is if someone can respect me, even if we have different opinions, cool. People that can't, you know what? I don't really need to give them time of day. And I really think this could go for any area of life, even in business. There are customers, it's like, honestly, that's fine if they leave. I don't want those customers. Or, in colleagues, and it's like, all I have to be is civil and, we just do the job, but I don't need to go to my way to have extra dialogue with them. I can kind of just ignore the majority of someone's presence because it doesn't really impact my life. And that might not sound very nice, but it is a way to just protect one's peace. And I kind of think that this is Aries in a quiet, strong way, standing up for themselves without actually having to push back or shout and holler or anything like that. It just feels like Aries is like kind of feeling good about who they are and the fact that they have great self-control. We have a Four of Cups. If anything, I think Aries is done assessing who gets like a rise out of them and who gets their time. And instead, Aries is turning their attention to, okay, what things have I either been disappointed that I didn't get to do, or things that I maybe didn't have enough time, or places I didn't get to travel to yet, or things that were on my list of what I wanted to do this year. And it kind of feels like Aries, it's interesting because a lot of times we make lists at the end of the year of, what we want to do next year or what we accomplished. This is Aries making a list of the things that they regret having spent time on. Probably, I mean, that's actually maybe a more astute way to do it. What do I regret giving my energy to? That argument I had with such and such, the time that I spent too much time on the phone with customer service, on that loop, round and round and round and round, and didn't get anything sorted out. There are certain battles not worth fighting, and an emperor knows time is probably more precious than anything. So never waste time. Never blow, our happiness to stay mad or frustrated, especially if did it make a big impact in the scheme of our life. So Aries is maybe sitting down during this last chunk of time as we, go from one year into the next, and is actually asking themselves, where did I squander any of my time? What do I regret having invested in? And what was that investment? Sometimes we have a regret over something, but it still yielded a great result. This is Aries weeding out the things that didn't yield a good result. That's where they're not going to put their energy anymore. Instead, it's like, I think the next column that they're writing down next to, what things do I regret putting energy into, is then the next column over is, and how will I instead use that time this year as we move into 2026? Because we got the Four of Wands. So we got two fours side by side. So I definitely, in my mind, because he's sitting here writing, I definitely see somebody like making a tally of things. And then right next to it, and maybe there were just like four major things. But I think Aries already has a really good idea of what they could spend their time doing in this next year. What would make my life more stable, more perfect, the life that I would want, or even the relationship that I would want, because this can be about love. If Aries had kind of a strenuous year sometimes where there were a lot of other people that they were trying to get along with, where there was just a lot of difficulty in doing that and conflict, I think Aries might even regret having spent too much time trying to sort that out, because this is them saying, I could have spent more time not trying to get along with the dudes at work, but instead spending time with my ladies, spending time with my lover, spending time with building a relationship with my loved one. This is like, let me invest instead of like squandering my time elsewhere. Let me invest that time with my lover or with my partner, whomever it is that I want to actually spend my time with. It's just really nice. Araceli Arredondo, great to see you. And Yamina, hi, sweetheart. Savez-vous? How are you, darling? Shout out to you in France. Thank you so much for being here. We got a Six of Swords upright. We've got the Knight of Cups. Everything here keeps saying the same message to me. I only see Aries charging toward the things that they want from here on out. Even if that means walking away from a group, walking away, spending less time. I do think Aries is spending less time with extraneous people in their world and more time pursuing things that really fill their heart, including like pursuing romantic connections that really matter to them. This is, I think 2026, is going to be the year for Aries' heart. That's what it looks like to me. I think Aries is more concerned with love, relationships, Nine of Wands. Also, if Aries enters into any like group study or something, it may be things that will really like enhance their life and reduce their stress level. Like this could be Aries wants to take a class in whatever, philosophy or basket weaving or, anything that they want to do that is, it would be a better use of my time. It would be something that heals me and soothes me. So either I spend my time working on and developing relationships that please me, pursuing things that bring joy into my life, and doing activities that actually calm and heal me instead of engaging in battle. I'm leaving behind groups and people that I may never be able to connect very well with. And this could be big because this, if we go back to that whole concept of the Thanksgiving dinner, this could be a time where Aries is saying, you know what, I realize I'm probably not going to go to any more of the Thanksgiving dinners, or I'm not going to spend a lot of time. This could be a point where Aries could more or less remove themselves from a group or a routine, even if it's like cutting ties with some family members. This Aries is doing it for their sense of peace and for the betterment of their life, because they've evaluated and said, as an emperor of my own empire, this is my life. My energy is so precious. I have to pick where I spend it. Do I spend it in things that stress me out, cause me vexation, things that I think about nonstop for the next 3 weeks, or do I say, let me just not go to that event and then it won't be stressful? There's so much to be said for not even bothering to, somebody sends you an email and you just know, oh my God, I've got sweaty palms even seeing that they reached out to me. Do you really need to open it? This Aries says, nope. That does nothing but stress me, so I don't open those things. I don't need to respond to the invites. I don't need to do the things that I don't want to do. I can just keep a peaceful life and leave certain things outside of my kingdom. That's the way I think Aries is going to be rolling into next year, simply because the less time you spend fighting, the more time you can spend, investing in the stuff that you care about. Knight of Wands is upright. And I think it's going to feel like Aries has a lot more time for excitement, for things that they're passionate about. This is an Aries who could be like, oh my God, I've wanted to, squeeze time into my life for little adventures, for taking little trips. I'm feeling like there's a lot of weekend trips in 2026 coming up, a lot of little things that Aries has wanted to do, places they've wanted to go. Maybe silly things, simple things, but still little teeny tiny, like I just wanted to go, whatever, across town and photograph that one, sunset from that one big rock at the edge of town. I feel like Aries is going to make time for hobbies and things that they're passionate about. We have a 10 of Wands, and we also have the 10 of Cups sideways. 2 10s. This is amazing. Moving into next year, everything here says Aries has a pretty good glimpse of what they're going after. And they may be studying up on some philosophy, because we've got, our Socrates and Aristotle, and everybody's hanging out, chit-chatting here about what is life made up of. Are we mortal creatures having a spiritual experience? Are we spiritual creatures having an earthly experience? And I always think we're somewhere in between the two. But we have Aries possibly saying, those are the things I care more about. I'd rather ponder, what life is made up of and what we're here to do. We're probably not supposed to carry unnecessary burdens, especially with families and, people who've been vexatious to us. We're supposed to learn how to get beyond that, either find coping mechanisms or find a strategy to heal, or, as in Aries' case, sometimes take it as a sign that we move on from those things or those people, and we create a different life for ourselves, a different world for ourselves that's much happier. And I think the pursuit of happiness is a really big thing moving forward for our Aries. Leo had something that yesterday that came out that had much to do with the pursuit of happiness also. But there had been some devastating losses. This storyline for Aries has no losses. Instead, it just has Aries protecting their peace. I almost feel like Aries already has a partner in this, that they're just like doubling down and really connecting to at a deeper level, or that this next year will be the year that they meet the person that they really want to be with. And it's like, it could be a pretty like easy connection to discover like profound meaning in. Sometimes when we're not thinking that everything is going to be a battle, we end up in like a more open, more relaxed energy, and then relationships flow and bonds are built with great ease. And because I think Aries' number one factor is I don't want to be with or around people that just stress me out. So I could see Aries just feeling more peaceful as a whole in this next year, especially when it comes to love. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you so much for giving it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for subscribing. Aries, if you guys are ever wondering where your videos are, I know some people think I only do like one per month, and that is not true. I do many videos. I usually try very hard to get 2 for every zodiac every week. So if you are looking for your videos and you don't know when those get posted because you're not getting the notifications, as is happening a lot these days, you can always pop on my channel and click on the playlist and then scroll till you see Aries, click on the Aries playlist, and you will see all of the videos from newest to oldest. So usually it's like about every 3 to 4 days that Aries gets one. You know, like I say, I try to do 2 per week unless life goes crazy. And sometimes that happens. But Patricia, nice to see you, love. Yamina, thanks again, love. Araceli Arredondo and Crochet Every Day. Really appreciate you guys popping in to say hi. Send you lots of love. I'll see you guys again shortly. Bye for right now.